Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Cal-Royal SBCF333. This is a casement fastener. Generally used for windows, but quite frankly, this is a surface-mounted bolt, really, that can just pivot rather than slide. So I suppose you can use it in applications where you can have a pivoting bolt, but it's really called a casement fastener. It's meant to fasten casement windows. Casement windows, a casement window has a very particular sort of definition to it. Because of the three different strikes, however, that are provided with the hardware, you'd be able to handle, different types of windows. A hopper window, you'd be able to handle. You'd be able to handle any sort of four-sided item that swings in or out, provided you can get you have the rail or the style dimension in order to get the hardware installed. So lots of ways to be able to handle that. But casement windows are very typical in residential application. You've got just a couple of doors that, a couple of windows that open out, a couple of crank fasteners. You could certainly use that to secure those. I've personally installed these on hopper windows, and they work just splendidly, along with casement adjusters as well, which are really limiters to prevent how far the window will ultimately be permitted to open. So let's take a look. I have one here, and I have one removed from the packaging. The item that we are looking at is in the US15 satin nickel finish. This would be appropriate to call this 619 because this will be made of brass. I'm quite sure of it. I'm all but sure of it. I don't know that they declare what it's made of. They do. They say it's solid brass. This is what a casement fastener looks like. They are available in different sizes ultimately. I don't know if Cal-Royal has different sizes, but this would be considered the pretty typical size for a full-size window. And all you do is you rotate that. That's all you do. You can install it any which way you like. Put it this way, this way, this way, however you like. Rotate that handle and you're going to be able to get it from a locked to an unlocked position. Okay? And that's normal. This is typical. This is common. It's the three strikes that give you the flexibility. Let's take some dimensional properties. The overall, what would probably be the height of the mounting base would be about 2 1/16. The width would be about 1 1/8 or so. The overall projection of the unit itself looks like it's about 1 3/4. And the overall end-to-end maximum overall width looks like it's going to be right at about 3 3/16. Okay. Now, I've been talking about the strikes. There are 3 of them. You have a surface strike. I'm going to measure these as we go. Surface strike is about 2 inch by half. Total projection about 11/16. You have what would be a mortise strike. Overall height, 3 inch by 3/4. It's probably about 80 thousandths thick, something in that range. Then you have what is a rim strike. Okay, that's an unusual strike. Overall width, about 1 7/16. And overall height would be about 1 1/2 inches. Probably about the same thickness, 80 thousandths. I'm guessing. I don't know what the thickness is. But no reason to guess because I have the sayer of truth here, my caliper. The kid's good, 76 thousandths. 76 thousandths on the rim strike. The mortise strike is about 84 thousandths. So there you go. Now, how do I use this thing? Where do I put it? I'm glad you asked. Let's switch to the screen view now and take a closer look at the supporting documentation along with how to apply it. Okay, this is the item that we are looking at, the SBCF333 US15. First of all, let's look at the other finishes that are available. And they're going to be able to do for us US10B oil rub bronze, 15 satin nickel, 15A antique nickel, 19 is a black finish, 26 polished chrome, 26D satin chrome, US3 is polished brass, US5 antique brass. So we're looking at the B15 finish here. Now down below we're going to see extended description information. We've gone over it. It's a window casement fastener, size, projection, made of solid brass. There are 10 in a package and 100 in a master pack. They're sold and priced per lock. If you happen to buy 10, they're going to come in one sealed package, is my understanding. That information is germane only to distributors who say, Give me a whole box. Don't break a box. I want a whole box for my shelf. Cut sheet is here. Okay, that's a nice overview of what this looks like dimensionally. Shows the strikes. Solid brass, individually polybagged. Packed with screws and 3 strikes. Well, you know, it might be appropriate to call these strikes and maybe this a keeper. This might be the keeper, actually. I would say that this, if these are strikes, this might be the keeper. But there are 3 strikes that come with it. Then there is the product catalog, and that will allow you to review just simply the page and the general section that this falls in the manufacturer's catalog. Not a lot to see here except other builders' hardware. Not germane to a window casement fastener, really at all. Maybe of some use to you in some other way, I suppose. Okay. Now, let's talk about where we're going to use this thing. Okay, so there are 3 strikes. Let's talk about the 3 ways that this is going to work. So let's talk about let's talk about a casement window. Well, let's just talk about something that swings in or something that swings out. So, looking at a jamb perspective, let's do this. Let's draw it as if it is a double rabbet frame. So I can use one jamb section for both applications. Let's say that this is a window or a door for that matter. That's a window or a door. This application swings this way. This application swings this way. So all I'm doing is drawing them both at the same time. Let's say that you have an in-swing application. You would mount your doodad here. Okay, and that's going to rotate, horizontally or vertically, so it comes up here. Okay, in an in-swing application where you are here normally, you would certainly use one of 2 strikes. You're either going to use that rim strike with that hook on it, and that's going to rotate down and secure itself into it. That's the strike that looks like this. Okay, you would rim strike that, and part of that. That's going to be mortise to the frame. This section here, that's to the frame. That's going to hang off. It's going to hang off in this area here. You could also use the surface strike. Okay, and that was the one that just simply looked like this. But in a cross section, it actually looks like this, like this, like this, like this. Okay? Same sort of concept, rotates down and locks in here. You could use either of those on an in-swing application. If you have an outswing application, if you were going to have your outswing and you're standing here, we could use the same drawing. An outswing application, you would take the mortise strike, and you would mortise that to your stop or your soffit. This is actually called the soffit. All of this is the stop. That's the stop face. That's the soffit. You would mortise the strike really to the soffit so that it was here. And then, of course, you're going to mount your casement fastener right there. Okay, and that was the strike that looked like this. Now, except it looked like this. What I'm trying to illustrate here is that it's wider at one end than it is down here. And I will, if I don't forget, I'll point that out to you. This narrow portion goes towards the bottom, so as you rotate the bolt into the slot in the mortise strike, it will draw the unit tight. That's why it's made like that. So you've got 3 strikes. You could really live with, well, the rim or the surface strike depends on what's happening here. If it's flush and an inset, you could use the surface strike. If there is no projecting trim situation here, molding, casing, you could use that, or otherwise you'll have to use the rim strike and maybe mortise out the trim or the molding or the casing that's applied there. So that's really how you're going to use this item. So it's pretty simple and straightforward. Below this video is a link to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Cal-Royal products that we sell by means of this horizontal navigation here, but also a link to the website as well as a link to the full product catalog. That full product catalog is about 500 pages worth of imported Asian builders hardware. The upside of that is Cal-Royal has a very broad diversity of available products for both commercial and residential applications. When it comes to availability, they generally have an ample quantity of everything in stock, but it is all imported from Asia. Let's wrap up this video on camera. Now, why are you looking at this from Cal-Royal? Well, it's very likely that the names in the industry that you're familiar with who may have made this once upon a time, decades ago or a century ago, they don't make this stuff anymore. And there are companies that do provide them. They're imported. Cal-Royal is not the only one. I can think of two others that have the material that you can purchase imported, brass casement fasteners from, but not a lot of options as it comes to this sort of product. Okay, that strike is the one I was referring to. Okay, it is narrower here than it is up here. That's the bottom line, slightly, not very much. But the point is when you take your bolt and you throw it, it's meant to draw that in tight. Okay. It's not much narrower, but now I'm wondering if I'm seeing a mirage. Let's measure what I think is the top. 0.312, so 5/16. Yeah, for sure. Then 0.264 at the bottom. So it's 40 thousandths different, something 50 thousandths different, right in that range. Anyway, if you have a question on the Cal-Royal casement fastener, their SBCF333 or any other Cal-Royal product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.